Okay, we go to the church, then the poison camp, hit the cave for upgrade materials, loop around to take the eagle, and the storm's already coming. This is Elden Ring Nightreign. For those of you not familiar, Nightreign is the newest title from Fromsoft, the studio behind Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring. You know the ones, those challenging, atmospheric action RPGs. In Nightreign, up to 3 players set out to eliminate a big boss called a Night Lord. To get there, they'll have to survive multiple days and nights in the world of Limveld while collecting loot, leveling up, and slaying bosses. Despite the name, Nightreign isn't a sequel to Elden Ring. It actually takes more of its design cues from roguelikes, games in which each playthrough is a shorter, randomized run that starts you from scratch whenever you fail. Instead of creating your own character and embarking on a 50-hour plus open world journey,
I could be pink like Alex Jones.
Nightreign has you pick a pre-made character and queue up with a team of 2 other players for a 45-minute expedition. But there's one main aspect of Nightreign's game design that doesn't come from either roguelikes or Elden Ring, and that's its emphasis on time. It affects how the entire game is played, and I have some problems with it that we'll get to. When you first play Nightreign, you might not notice it, but you're being timed. That's right, Mr. Elden Ring himself is sitting with a stopwatch, making sure you're hitting a high enough FPM, or fun per minute. And if you're not, well, you're not making it to the Night Lord, buddy. An expedition starts off Fortnite style. You drop over Limveld, but instead of a funky bus, it's a Lord of the Rings bird. You can pop open your map and take a look at the sites that have spawned. There's a lot of important information here that you'll need to synthesize to succeed. Go to the churches to upgrade your healing, go to caves to upgrade your weapons, know the difference between a boss you can defeat and one that'll, do this to you. At first, this is pure information overload. There's just too much stuff on the map and it's impossible to know what to prioritize. And as I mentioned, you're timed, so knowing what to prioritize is the name of the game. Your success is tied directly to how efficiently you execute your gameplay, because time is runes, runes are levels, and levels are power. There's no time to stop and smell the roses. It's a shame because, like Elden Ring, there are a lot of cool things to see in Nightreign. Take for example these magic towers, which can spawn with one of multiple puzzle locks that you need to crack to open the door and get the loot. But because the puzzles are cryptic, not explained, and kind of esoteric, most players just skip them. My friend likens them to Nazi zombie-ass Easter egg secrets, which maybe not that obscure, but yeah, pretty much.
Has to be out, because if you notice on this clock, there's actually a ballistic knife, there's like a knife in it, and a firing knife. You can't get too close to it, you gotta actually be back a little ways from it. Okay, so you have to actually stand a little away from it, and you have to stand absolutely still to make sure you start moving around the timer reset. And just make sure that you have a crawler and you...
Nightreign can be played as either solo or trio. No duos yet. Playing with friends is a blast, but hopefully one of you knows what you're doing because there's going to be a lot of yelling and following the leader, and we have to do this before the storm. Oh right, there's a storm. Like in classic game Fortnite. If you're playing with randoms, you get to experience what true RNG looks like. Some people will carry your sorry ass to victory. Some will try to force a hard boss in the first few minutes, die, and then disconnect. It's incredibly frustrating. Nightreign's cutthroat, time-centric gameplay makes it a brutal experience for newcomers. Ironically, this game is technically easier than some of FromSoft's older titles, but it can sometimes feel less forgiving given the whole time thing. Because like sure, Ornstein and Smo in Dark Souls 1 are tough, but the bonfire, which serves as the game's checkpoint, is right around the corner. If you lose, you can try again almost immediately. Nightreign's checkpoint though, it's at the beginning of the expedition. Yeah, the one you queued up for 45 minutes ago. That means every attempt at a Night Lord is 45 minutes of RNG. Every wipe hurts. This feels especially soul-crushing with the weekly rotating hard Night Lords. These fights are some of the most fun in the game, but only if you get good RNG. Every Night Lord has specific strengths and weaknesses. Sometimes you'll find a weapon that matches the boss perfectly. Sometimes the right camp won't even spawn. Sometimes the one elemental weapon you get isn't usable by your class. RNG tends to dictate your success. And this is why that 45-minute reset will drive you insane. Side point, but the rotating boss schedule is sort of dumb FOMO in my opinion. It's like if the Nameless King from Dark Souls 3 only showed up on the 3rd week of every month. I don't like it. Also, as an aside, it's important to note that Nightreign is not directed by Fromsoft's president, Hidetaka Miyazaki. That's relatively rare, and it puts it in similar company with Dark Souls 2, one of FromSoft's most controversial titles. So it's no surprise that Nightreign takes a lot of risks and makes decisions I can't imagine being made in a typical FromSoft project. Because at their core, most FromSoft games have just been modern evolutions of Demon Souls. Sure, there are new mechanics, better graphics, bigger worlds, but the core gameplay loop is the same blueprint. Nightreign doesn't follow that structure even though it keeps the same combat philosophy. Some people hate it for that. A lot of people would have preferred another traditional expansion for Elden Ring, or a co-op side story, and I get that, but personally, I kind of like that they took a chance, that Miyazaki released the leash a bit and let them do something wacky. There's a lot of strong design choices here. Hell, almost every Night Lord blew me away with their presentation and mechanics. Like, look at this shit. This giant curse-armed freak. In the hard version of the fight, he cuts off his own arm, grows a healthy human god arm, and gains a set of whole new moves that lets him shoot a bow and launch what I can only describe as a fucking light nuke. It's absolutely peak. I'm glad Nightreign exists, but I feel as if the time element, which is arguably the core mechanic, warps the entire experience for me. Most roguelikes don't time gate your power level. They let you take your time, explore, make mistakes, learn what things do, and understand what's in each area. Nightreign never lets up. Yes, it's true that some roguelikes have secret bosses or routes that require fast runs, like in The Binding of Isaac, I think of Hush or the Boss Rush, but those tend to be optional challenges meant for advanced players. Nightreign doesn't really have that kind of pacing option. It's just go fast or die. And I do wonder what Nightreign would have looked like without time pressure. What would a traditional Elden Ring roguelike be? Maybe something more like Bloodborne's Chalice Dungeons, which already acted as a kind of pseudo-randomized dungeon system. A roguelike that let players slowly explore would have been really cool, but I don't know. At the end of the day, Nightreign turns the FromSoft experience into a boss rush sprint, and yeah, once you get the hang of it, it is really fun. And I know I just spent this whole video complaining about the game's insistence on speed and mastery, but also there's something appealing about that exact pace. Jumping from point A to B, killing everything in your way without a moment to breathe, it appeals to the zoomer brain. Just like Fortnite. You're constantly being funneled towards the action, and because FromSoft are the kings of action, it still feels fantastic. Because when the stars align, your route is perfect, your team is synced up, the RNG is merciful, Nightreign becomes an incredibly satisfying and addicting experience. For FromSoft's B team, I'd call their experiment a success, but it also opens the door for a very different kind of FromSoft roguelike, one that's a bit more patient. One I still hope we see, because even with all my complaints, I've yet to find a FromSoft game I didn't love playing. Thanks for watching.